Kazian. You've got different guys up there that have put up tremendous numbers when it comes to passing efficiency at the college level. Sean King stands above them all. I like somebody who can go out and say, I can play football, we can do well, and goes out and proves it. I also like his toughness when he plays with an injury. And, of course, being able to throw the football, you have to do that in the National Football League, and he did it well.
He's the first Division I player to rush for 500 yards and throw for 3,000 yards in one season. 2-9, 2-9, 7-4. 12-0. That's the progression of records for Tulane under Sean King. And it's pretty funny as we go up to Mike for a second. There's just a couple of Tampa Bay fans here. See one wearing an All-Star jersey, one wearing a Hardy Nickerson jersey. Joe, you said they have us in the ear. He's not a threat to Trent Dilfer yet, and they yelled, yes, he is. So, I mean, you know, they're never going to be happy there. And by the way, this other Tampa Bay note, the last piece of the big sombrero, we understand, just last week was knocked down. Oh, Mike, what are we going to do without it?
I hope they sent you a piece of the sombrero, Boom. That's
they
what
did.
I wanted.
Yes, they did.
See, you figure. These things
it's
happen.
in my office.
Let's add things up for a second. Tampa Bay last year, 27th in passing in the league. Eric Zeier is traded for. Sean King is drafted. Draw the bottom line and tell me what you should think if you're Trent Dilfer tonight.
Well, I think you understand that this is a critical year for you. It's your 5th season. They are looking for you to take you to the next level. Eric Zeier has 1 year left on his contract, but Trent Dilfer, at the end of the season, the Buccaneers have to make a decision, a very expensive one, on a 2-year option, and they do love Sean King. They were either going to take a Culpepper, a McNown, a Sean King, or Ted White of Howard. Even though I think that Dilfer gets a shot here, I think the two most popular quarterbacks in Tampa this year probably will be Eric Zeier and Sean King. Yeah.
No team did less in their off-season free agency acquisitions than the Bucs, but they made a quarterback splash today. Back to Chris.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. And are we ready to go down to Tampa? Yes, we are. Through our Sprint video teleconferencing, let's go down and join the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tony Dungy. And Tony, thanks for joining us. And let's just talk for a minute about the pick you just made with Sean King. Obviously, many people thought you were looking for McNown or Culpepper in the first round, but you had King in your pocket all along, didn't you?
Yeah, we like Sean a lot, and obviously we had he and Anthony McFarland in the Senior Bowl, and getting to know those two young men at that game throughout the whole week of practice, I think that really helped our evaluation process.
Let me quick go to McFarland, then I want to go back to King for a minute. You're a defensive tackle in the beginning. That is your type of player, a smaller, quicker type man on the front, where you look like you're in pretty good shape on the front line, but you picked McFarland. Was he the best guy that you had on your board? Is that it?
We really thought he was the best player still available. He fit our style to a T, and we got to see him do a lot of the things that our defensive line does when we had him that week of practice. So that one was a pretty easy pick for us.
Tony, you and I had a nice conversation this week, and we share a little bit of it with the folks at home. This is a monumental and a historic day in many ways, not only with the 5 quarterbacks in the first 12, but up until today, just Doug Williams, by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, picked in the first round of '78. Andre Ware, first round Detroit, 1990. Steve McNair by Houston in 1995. And here we have today 3 black quarterbacks picked in the first 11 picks, and Sean King going to you in the second round. If I know you well enough, the thing that pleases you the most is the young kids, the junior high and the high school kids, seeing that this can be a dream that isn't really a dream anymore. Are you feeling elation today, proud? How are you feeling about this?
I really am happy. I'm very happy that we were able to get Sean King, number 1, because we think he's going to be an excellent player for us. But number 2, I think seeing that and seeing the quarterbacks discussed, and hey, is Achilles Smith going first, or is McNabb, or is Culpepper, where does Sean King fit in? And people just discussing the merits of the players and not, is this a black quarterback or whatever. I'm happy for the league.
Has the position and the game changed some where it is more crucial to be a great athlete at quarterback than maybe it was a generation or certainly 2 generations ago?
I don't know if that's the case or not, but I just think that the perception has changed, and, you know, people are, I think, just looking at the position and saying, hey, I want to get a winner and somebody that can help us win. And you're seeing guys who have been very productive, been 3- and 4-year players. Now it looks like they're going to get that opportunity in the NFL, and I'm pretty confident these young guys are going to show what they can do.
Well, specifically Sean King. I mean, here's a guy that started most of his time there and turned the whole program around. There's an opportunity you're talking about, isn't it?
Exactly. You know, Sean is a local young man. He's from St. Petersburg, Florida, went to high school here, kind of turned his high school program around, went to Tulane where they had not been a national power, led him to an undefeated season this year. Again, we had him at the Senior Bowl. He was elected captain of the offense by the players. So I think that tells you a little bit about him and why people are excited and why we're excited to have him.
Do people forget that you were a quarterback all throughout, including your college days in the Big Ten, and really never had an opportunity to play quarterback in the pros, never had a look-see? You wonder what would have happened if it was a generation later and you were coming out of school now. You probably haven't had time to think about that yet, but every now and then you must drift that way.
Well, when I was playing, you always had those flashbacks where you wanted to get an opportunity to play, but I certainly wasn't as talented as these guys are. And again, you really can't look back. I'm just, as I said, happy for the league that we have a situation where these four guys go and nobody's really talking about it. They're just talking about their ability.
I think everybody is happy, Tony. One thing on the Bucs. Last year, I guess your players and you found out firsthand that the hardest things in sports are great expectations. Are the expectations, obviously yours are just as great for this coming year as they were going into last season, but maybe can that be a bump and a learning process, a bump in the road that you guys put in your pocket and can make you a much better team, having experienced an 8-8 season when you were hoping for 12-4?
We think it will. Our guys were very disappointed. Our work this offseason has been excellent, and we know we've got a lot of work to do. Minnesota came on and had a tremendous year. Green Bay is still a great football team. I think you've seen Detroit come up with a couple of very good players today. Chicago has a new quarterback now, and our division is going to be very, very tough. But we think that was just a little delay for us, and we think we're still climbing.
Tony, classy, forthright as always, and so far one heck of an intriguing draft for the Buccaneers. Thanks for joining us, and continued success this weekend.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. Tony Dungy, as classy as they come. Going to be an exciting year in Tampa Bay this year, and it's an exciting day in the National Football League. That is for sure. We'll be back.
What will it take to build this company?
To get ready for prime time on the web.
How can we do everything a little faster? Okay, a lot faster.
When they're looking for answers, more CIOs, more webmasters, more people, look to Compaq than to any other computer company in the world.
Limits? What limits?
Compaq. Better answers.
Sports Century's 50 Greatest Athletes, a year-long celebration. Number 39, Walter Payton. Friday at 10:30 on ESPN. Presented by General Motors.
This ESPN News presentation of the 1999 NFL Draft is brought to you by Range Rover, the most advanced thinking ever found in a 4x4.
Welcome back to our coverage on ESPN2. Maybe we let our hair down a little bit here in the late second round and third round, which gives me an opportunity to explain why I know I need a haircut. But here's the truth. Later on in the month, ESPN and our continuing series of Sports Century, we are going to be taping, Charlie Starner and I, the Sports Center of the 60s. I thought it would be appropriate if I didn't get a haircut for a couple of months. It doesn't grow quite as long in as many places as it used to, but if you're wondering what this is doing, it's kind of acting, babe. At any rate, that explains that. The latest picks. Linebacker Johnny Rutledge has gone to Arizona in the second round. Linebacker from Florida, and John Thornton has gone to Tennessee, the defensive tackle from West Virginia. So, Mel, Well, before we do that and talk about these players,